Welcome to SF Commercial Property Conversations with Bruce Bean, where Bay Area investments meet expert insights. Get ready to unlock the strategies of commercial real estate success.
So today we have Jessica and Damien Zouaoui with us, and this is a husband and wife team coming from Florida and France, Paris. So Jessica and Damien, it's great to have you. If you wouldn't mind just going through a little history of how you got to where you are, that would be fantastic.
Yeah, thanks for having us, Bruce. So as you mentioned, Damien and I are husband and wife in addition to business partners, and we are the co-founders of Oakwell Beer Spa. So Oakwell Beer Spa is a social day spa that combines private spa suites with a craft beer and wine tap room. We have 2 locations here in the greater Denver area, and are now franchising the concept nationwide. But you're probably wondering, what the heck is a beer spa and how did we come to own a beer spa? So Damien and I met when we were working corporate jobs in New York City. We both had successful career paths. We were climbing the corporate ladder. But at the end of the day, we were professionally unfulfilled and we knew we wanted to open a business together. So after we would get off of our long days at work, we would have a pint of beer or a glass of wine and brainstorm different business ideas. We knew pretty quickly that we wanted to do something different. So we wanted to do something that we really couldn't find in the United States. We didn't want to do a restaurant or a coffee shop. So Damien being from France and myself having traveled internationally at a young age, we knew that there was a lot of interesting concepts that existed out in the world that just maybe hadn't been brought to the United States yet. So the month after getting married, we decided if we're going to do something risky, now is the time to do it before we have kids or a mortgage. So we both quit our jobs at the same time. We sold everything that we owned, which wasn't a lot. We had a very small place in New York City, but we packed 2 backpacks and we headed off on an indefinite round-the-world trip looking for interesting business ideas that we could bring back and scale across the United States through franchising. And it was about halfway in that we found ourselves at a beer spa in Zakopane, Poland, which is in the Polish Alps. We were soaking in this tub that was infused with hops and barley with the free-flowing keg of Polish beer next to us. Damien fell asleep in the tub. He was so relaxed. But in my mind, pretty quickly, I was like, okay, I think this is it. Combining beer and wellness, having a true spa experience that you can enjoy as a couple. So I splashed Damien in the face with some water. I said, hey, wake up. Like, I think we found the idea. And Damien said, whoa, I think we need to do a little bit more research first, but we could be onto something. So we continued exploring different spa cultures around the world and really crafted the rest of our travels around that. So we went to onsens in Japan, jjimjilbangs in South Korea, wine spas in France and Spain. And what we found was around the world, spas are a social experience. You go with your friends, with your family. Men go just as much as women. And most of them have a restaurant or a cafe or cantina in the middle of them where you really spend multiple hours going to herbal baths, you go to saunas, and then you go to the restaurant and you have a bowl of noodles or you drink a cold beer, some sake or soju. And so we thought, hey, this is something that the U.S. is really missing. The spas in the United States are really tailored towards the female demographic, right? Like men don't typically go to spas in the United States. And they're really not set up for socializing as much as we go to spas for a couple's massage or a girl's day. They're really silent. They're meditative. You have some rainforest sounds in the background. If you're talking with your friends, people are giving you the evil eye because they're reading a book and trying to relax. So we keep trying to have social spa experiences in the U.S., but we felt like most spa businesses were not really set up for that. So we decided to take the best of all of these social spa experiences that we found around the world and turned it into what is now Oakwell. We had never been to Denver before, but all of our market research pointed to this being the best location to launch the concept. So we flew right here after 14 months of traveling with just our backpacks on, but now a business plan and financial projections in hand. We started looking for a space to put it and also finding a loan to open our first location. which we opened in downtown Denver, Colorado in February of 2021. So we just celebrated 5 years in business. Just to prove the concept out a little further, we opened a second location in Highlands Ranch, Colorado, a little over a year ago. And then we just started offering franchise opportunities nationwide at the beginning of this year.
Wow, that is quite a story. I just love it. But I do have a question for you because I want to know what all the different variations of spas are you can have. Obviously, you can have the beer version, but are there some other ones?
Yeah, yeah, you have wine spas in the south of France, north of Spain. They use what it's called a vinotherapy approach with grape seeds and so many other ingredients are really good for you. In South Korea, they use a lot of herbal bath. So they use fresh, different herbs, mainly from Asia.
Like mugwort is a really popular one.
Yes, that really helps you to relax in a hot bath or warm bath. You have as well springs, right? Spring water that is full of minerals and vitamins and antioxidants. So really good for you in different towns around the world. You have as well, within those spas, you have a cantina in the middle of all of that where people are drinking a beer. It really using a holistic approach to create wellness therapies, leveraging fresh herbs, fresh botanicals, the nature, leveraging what the nature offer you as a gift has been here for centuries. I mean, thousands of years. So, we're not reinventing the wheel here. What we're doing is we're readapting an incredible approach that came from different countries around the world and Americanized it here in the US for the market.
So I just have to ask you, being a Colorado Boulder native, if I came there and wanted a Coors spa, would you be able to accommodate me?
We always joke that we should put Coors in the tub, but we don't. I apologize. It's not real beer that you're bathing in. So we have these giant tubs that's infused with hops and malted barley, beer's two main ingredients. There's no yeast. It's not fermented, so you don't want to drink the water that's in the tub. But of course, we do have local craft beer, not Coors, but from local brewers in the tap room that you can, have a beverage from.
This sounds like, rather than a meditative spa, as you've described, that this is obviously a social, more rowdy, fun place to be.
I wouldn't say it's rowdy. So our guests on average have 2 drinks per person. So 2 glasses of wine or 2 pints of beer. We're really focused on wellness first, and then you can have a drink to further the relaxation. But it is a social environment. So you come in, we have a custom scent that we diffuse throughout the space. The lighting is dim in the evening, a little bit more uplifting during the day. We have curated beverages that we pick the best breweries and beer that Denver has to offer at any given time. The music, we play salsa music, bossa nova, French pop. The lobby, the tap room looks more like a boutique hotel lobby than it does. Most spas have dark oak furniture and really plush, thick carpeting. It doesn't look like that at all. It's really plush. We have lots of greenery. We have lots of velvets, green and blue color scheme. So it is very much a social environment, but I wouldn't go so far as to say that it's rowdy.
Okay, not rowdy, kind of social, but not carried away, so to speak.
Exactly.
Not a beer bar, so to speak.
Exactly.
So I'm curious, when is your sort of peak time? Over the weekends or in the evenings?
Yeah, when we opened our original location, so this was February of 2021, we booked out at 100% occupancy the day that we opened our reservation system.
Wow.
So we opened our booking system a week before our grand opening, and we had 2.5 bookings per minute for the first 24 hours. The server for the website crashed. We had so much traffic. And so we were ended up booking out at 100%. So our hours are 8 a.m. to 10:30 p.m. 7 days a week.
Oh my
And
God.
that continued on for our first 3 years in business. We were completely booked because at that time, most people were still working from home, working from home at the spa. So even during the weekdays and the mornings, we were completely booked. That started to slow down slightly about into our fourth year in business, where we had some openings during the weekdays in the mornings, like maybe our 8 a.m. Wednesdays weren't at 100% occupancy anymore, because a lot of people were returning to work. But we are always, since day one of opening, our weekends, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, are fully booked at 100% occupancy, 4 p.m. onward, fully booked. And then we still have a decent amount of appointments, during the weekdays in the mornings.
So, given the incredible success you've experienced, I'm curious if you're looking for investors. You're looking for franchise folks, but are you also looking for investors on the other side?
That's a great question. We have been very fortunate, very strategic with saving as much cash as we can since opening. So we have had several projects that we've been able to completely self-fund, like franchising, right? So there's been a lot of investment, both on the legal side, coming up with our operations manual, making sure our technology infrastructure is there. We've been able to completely fund that ourselves. We are also remodeling our first location. So we were very much bootstrapped with the first one. We were underfunded. We did a lot of the construction ourselves. We were getting our construction materials from Home Depot, which, is not commercial grade. So we're having to remodel our private spa suites now that we've been open for 5 years, just to, put more durable materials inside. And we're able to fund that ourselves as well. So we are fortunate to be in a position that we have enough liquidity to not need outside investors. Just at this point, we're looking for franchise partners, so for franchisees.
Well, investors always like to invest in companies that don't need the money. So you're probably in a very
Exactly.
good position
We
that
will
way.
always take a meeting. We're all ears, but we're not actively looking at this time.
Okay, so describe your perfect franchise person.
Yeah, perfect franchisee. So I think a affinity or a commitment to hospitality is the number one thing. So I don't know, Bruce, if you've checked out our Google reviews, but our original location in downtown Denver, we have over 3,000 reviews now. We still maintain a 4.9 rating. We had a 5-star rating for the first 3 years in business. We were very sad when we went down to a 4.9, but still, compared to most other businesses out there with that many reviews, a 4.9 is pretty good. Our new location, Highlands Ranch, we've been open for over a year. We still have a 5-star rating. So my point in saying that is that, we are very focused on the guest experience. So we like to call it Michelin casual. It is a very luxury type of feeling when you come in. We always greet you by your name. We open the door. Hi, Bruce. We're so excited that you're here for your appointment. We know if you're celebrating a birthday or an anniversary. We guide you through a curated tasting of the beverages that we have on the tap wall. Anytime that you're hanging out in the tap room, we come and refill your water. We'll bring you more complimentary snacks. There's certain language that our employees can use and can't use. For example, our employees can't say no worries when responding to a question.
Good.
We like to say our pleasure, which is something that we borrowed from Chick-fil-A. When a guest asks where the restroom is, we don't just point down the hallway. We escort the guests there. Whenever we are pointing to something, we use an open palm. We don't point with the finger. So we really have this playbook that we took from our experiences at places like the Ritz-Carlton and the Four Seasons, but we deliver the guest experience in a more unpretentious way. So it's more down to earth, a little bit more casual. So that's why we call it Michelin casual. So it's important for us that our franchisees understand the importance of that hospitality, because that's what keeps our guests coming back month after month, regardless of what the interior design is or the service that we're offering. It's the feeling that they have, the guest experience. So having a franchisee that has either worked in the hospitality industry before or just really loves the hospitality industry, but who will be able to carry forward those brand standards is the most important thing for us.
So give me a little perspective on what the cost of a franchise might be.
Yeah. It's definitely a significant investment. As you can imagine, there's a lot of plumbing involved with the hydrotherapy tubs, the showers, saunas. So to open a single unit, a single location is between 1.3 and 2.6 million. That said, our average unit volume, so that's basically our average revenue for a location, is 2 million. And our average margins is 30%. So you can get a return on that investment fairly quickly.
No, that's fantastic. And you're looking at some different locations throughout the U.S.?
Absolutely. So our number one target is Scottsdale, Arizona. So it's a really big wellness city. There's already a big spa culture there. Our second biggest target market, is Austin, Texas. We're also interested in Dallas and Houston. Our next target after that is Kansas City. Big beer scene there as well. It's a more mid-sized market, very similar to Denver. And then California. So that's why we're talking to you, Bruce. We know that you're the expert. So we are targeting San Francisco, San Diego, and potentially LA as well.
And what's the average size of your facility?
3,400 square feet.
Wow, that's pretty specific. 3,400. Yes. Okay.
3,400. So as we can't go any smaller than 3,000, and we wouldn't want to go much larger than 4,000. We prefer standalone buildings or an end cap, and then there is an option for an outdoor patio, but it's not required.
Do you prefer a shopping center? But standalone? What type of real estate do you prefer?
We're a destination, so we don't rely on co-tenancy. We don't rely on pedestrian traffic so much. We just need a place that is easy to get to and easy to park. But our guests will drive quite a distance, and they plan ahead for this. So they're making their appointment 4 to 6 weeks ahead of time. So it's not something where we're relying on someone walking by and all of a sudden deciding to take a beer bath. So that's not as important. But being in a downtown area, a more tourist area, is the first place that we like to go when we're going into a new city. And then we can expand more into the suburbs. For example, in Denver, we started in the Rhino neighborhood, which is what people call the Brooklyn of Denver. So it's the hip and trendy neighborhood. Second location was in Highlands Ranch, which is in a very residential suburban area.
Yeah, those are two different markets completely, but one's kind of, I think, catering more to the younger population, and the Highlands Park is more of a mature residential area. So Absolutely. Those are fantastic. Well, this has been incredibly interesting. I am looking forward to talking to you again down the road here to see if we can actually see how your expansion is going and so forth. I can't wait to see how you go. See if you can get into Scottsdale right away and go from there.
Absolutely. And next time you're in Denver, Bruce, you have to let us know so we can host you for a spa experience.
I was going to suggest that our good friend who's now 101, we should send her down here and have her do a little spa treatment.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll see if we can get one of her many boyfriends to take her there.
Okay, sounds like a date.
All right. Well, this is fantastic. Hold on here a second, and I'll explain what happens from here. And this is great to have you. Where can people get a hold of you?
So Oakwell.com for website, oakwellfranchise.com if they want to inquire about a franchise, Oakwell Beer Spa on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok.
Oh, everywhere. All right.
Everywhere. We're everywhere.
Okay, that's the way it should be. All right. Well, I look forward to seeing you very, very soon again.
That's a wrap on today's journey through the SF commercial real estate scene. Ready to share your story? Visit sfcommercialconversations.com/guest. Your insights could lead the next conversation.